Ahora sí, ¿oís? Esto no es juego.
Hurricane Melissa has marked a turning point in the meteorological history of the Caribbean, after making landfall on the southwest coast of Jamaica as a Category 5 storm. With sustained winds of approximately 295 kilometers per hour and a central pressure near 892 millibars. Its arrival has left an indelible mark on the island, where devastation is visible in every corner, and the overall picture is one of almost total destruction. The initial impact on Jamaican territory has been catastrophic. Extreme winds uprooted trees, destroyed homes, and caused power lines to collapse in large rural areas. Residents' accounts describe a scene of absolute chaos, with roofs being ripped off and structures crumbling as the hurricane relentlessly battered the land. The coastal regions were the first to suffer the direct effects of the cyclone. In communities like Treasure Beach, Black River, and New Hope, the sea surged with tremendous force, flooding areas that had never before experienced such a storm surge. Waves reached heights of over 6 meters and penetrated several kilometers inland. The atmospheric pressure recorded during Melissa's passage was one of the lowest in Atlantic history. With 892 millibars at its center, the hurricane established itself as one of the most powerful systems ever documented in the Caribbean. This, along with its sustained wind speed, places it among the most intense cyclones of the century. In St. Elizabeth Parish, one of the hardest-hit areas, roads are blocked by debris, downed trees, and vehicles swept away by the currents. Numerous bridges have collapsed due to the combined force of the wind and water, leaving entire communities completely cut off. The collapse of the electrical infrastructure has plunged more than 500,000 people into darkness. Jamaica remains without power across much of its territory, with damaged grids, destroyed transformers, and downed power lines. Technical teams are working against the clock to restore basic services, though conditions remain adverse. The rains associated with Melissa have been intense and prolonged. In just 24 hours, accumulations exceeding 1,000 millimeters have been recorded in various parts of the country, causing devastating floods and landslides in mountainous regions such as the Blue Mountains and the interior. The landslides have destroyed rural roads and homes located on slopes. In some cases, entire communities have been cut off, without road access or communication. Helicopters and boats are the only means available to reach the most affected areas. The magnitude of the disaster has overwhelmed the local response capacity. St. Elizabeth and Manchester hospitals have suffered structural damage, with roofs torn off and electrical systems compromised. Many patients have had to be transferred to other medical facilities under precarious conditions. Communications on the island are severely disrupted. Downed cell phone towers and internet outages have hampered coordination and rescue efforts. In several areas, residents are communicating only via portable radios or messages sent by emergency teams. While Jamaica attempts to recover from the impact, Hurricane Melissa has continued its northward march. Currently, the system is moving over eastern Cuba as a Category 3 hurricane, maintaining a compact structure and winds still capable of causing severe damage. In Cuba, the outer bands have already begun to generate torrential rains and intense gusts. Provinces such as Granma, Santiago de Cuba, and Guantanamo are under maximum alert, with preventive evacuations affecting more than 650,000 people. Cuban authorities have reported controlled power outages in coastal regions to protect the national grid. This measure aims to reduce the risks of downed power lines or flooding of substations. The hurricane's slow movement has prolonged its impact on the Western Caribbean. Its leisurely pace intensifies the cumulative effects of the rainfall, which has already caused rivers and dams to overflow, increasing the risk of flash floods. Forecast models indicate that Melissa will continue its northward trajectory, approaching the Bahamas archipelago in the coming hours. Although weakened, it is expected to maintain hurricane-force winds and an extensive cloud field capable of generating heavy rain and coastal flooding. Storm surge poses a considerable threat to the Bahamian Islands. Projections indicate waves exceeding 4 meters in height, accompanied by strong winds that could cause structural damage and coastal erosion. The death toll in the region continues to rise. Preliminary reports indicate more than 20 fatalities in Jamaica, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic, while search teams continue exploring inaccessible areas to assess the true extent of the tragedy. In the Dominican Republic and Haiti, the rains generated by the system before it made landfall in Jamaica had already caused significant damage. Several border communities were affected by overflowing rivers and the loss of rural homes. Meteorological experts have highlighted that Melissa's intensification process was one of the fastest recorded in recent Atlantic history. In less than 36 hours, the system went from a Category 2 hurricane to a Category 5, fueled by the extremely warm waters of the Caribbean Sea. This sudden intensification phenomenon has been attributed to global warming and the anomalous ocean conditions currently prevailing in the region. Scientists warn that this type of event could become more frequent as sea temperatures rise. The hurricane's internal structure has shown a well-defined and symmetrical eye, surrounded by a wall of dense clouds with explosive convection. This pattern, typical of the most powerful cyclones, reflects the enormous amount of energy contained in its core. In Jamaica's coastal areas, the material damage is incalculable. Ports, docks, and vessels have been completely destroyed. The country's maritime economy will suffer a significant blow, affecting fishing and trade for months. Agricultural fields have been devastated. Banana, sugarcane, and coffee crops, vital to the local economy, were ravaged by wind and rain. The loss of these harvests represents an imminent food crisis for thousands of rural families. Land transportation remains disrupted in large areas of Jamaica. Main roads are covered in debris, and many sections remain underwater. Local authorities have begun cleanup efforts, but the process will be slow and complex. Rebuilding infrastructure will take months, perhaps years. The electrical grid, hospitals, and communication networks need to be restored almost from scratch amidst still unstable weather conditions. Environmentally, the effects of Melissa are devastating. Coral reefs and mangroves in southwest Jamaica have suffered irreversible damage, while coastal erosion has completely transformed the shoreline. The international airports in Kingston and Montego Bay remain closed due to damage to their runways and terminals. Air traffic is suspended, and commercial flights have been diverted to emergency airports in other Caribbean countries. As the hurricane moves toward the Bahamas, experts warn that, although it has weakened somewhat, its broad circulation field will maintain severe conditions over a vast area of the western Atlantic. Melissa's legacy will be remembered as one of the most destructive in recent Caribbean history. Jamaica, Cuba, and other neighboring nations now face the monumental challenge of rebuilding not only their infrastructure, but also the lives of thousands of people who have lost everything.